When I say factor, here are your options. There's factoring with GCF. There's factoring with trinomials. So that's where you've got like x squared plus something and you have to split it into two parentheses. And then there's factoring the difference of two squares, which is when you just have x squared minus a number that's a perfect square. Okay? You have to kind of pick and choose here. The first thing I would always look for is a GCF. Is there a GCF in number 6? No, there is not. But that is a trinomial. That is like an x squared plus something x plus something. So this is where I'm going to do the two parentheses, x and x. What are my signs going to be? Okay, 1 plus, 1 minus. And I'm looking for numbers that multiply to 8 and subtract, because remember, if I'm adding a plus and a minus, it's really like subtracting. Multiply to 8, subtract to 2. Joe? Okay, positive 2, negative 4. Yep. And when you FOIL those back together, x times x would give you x squared, x times negative 4 would give you negative 4x and 2x. If I put those together, I get negative 2x, and 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. What else do you want to see on this factoring page? 9. Okay. 9 does not have a GCF. It does not factor like a trinomial. That's right. It's a perfect square, right? 9 and 1 are both perfect squares, and so is x squared. So this would break down into 3x plus 1 and 3x minus 1. Okay? Anything else? Oh, number 12, by the way, you can cross off. You don't need to do number 12. Number 8? Okay, number 8, what I would do is I would first look for a GCF. Can I pull a GCF out of there? What'll come out of that? Okay, so I'm going to pull out a 5. How many x's can I take out? Just 1, because this one only has 1. How many y's can I take out? Okay. And so then, out of the 15, I'd be left with a 3. X to the third, if I take out an x, I'd have x squared, and no y's left. Minus 5 times 2 gives me 10. Take out an x, so none of those left. And then 2 y's out of 5 y's would leave me with y cubed. Plus 5 out of 20 would leave you with 4. Taking out 1x, so I'd have x to the third. Taking out 2 y's, so I would have 1 y left. Okay. Now after you do that, you should check what's in the parentheses and see if there's another way that can factor. Can that factor as a trinomial? Can it factor as a difference of two squares? This one, there's really not anything else you can do with it. That's just as factored as it's going to get. Okay? Eric? 11? Okay. So GCF on 11. What can I pull out? 2. And how many x's? Okay? So then in the first one, my 2 would be gone and I'd lose an x, so that would become x squared. This would become a 4, and I would lose an x, so that would just be an x. And then this would become a 5 with no x.
That's where I was applying that. I mean, I was late when I was working on it, so I just...
Okay. Okay, yep, so that one just pull out a GCF. But now look at what's left. X squared plus 4x minus 5. Can I factor that further? Is that a trinomial? Right? That's like the x plus something, x plus something. So x plus an x. How do I know that this is a plus minus? Okay, so 5 is negative, so I need to multiply to make a negative. That's got to be 1 plus, 1 minus. What multiplies to 5 and subtracts to 4? 5 and 1. 5 plus negative 1 gives you that 4 in the middle. So this would be totally factored. That's a two-step one. Okay? All right, what do you need to see back here? 13, 14, 15? 14? Okay. 14, this is just a single, this is a monomial outside of parentheses, so I just need to distribute this. Okay? So 6 times 5 is 30. M squared times m to the third is m to the fifth. And n times n squared is n to the third. Minus 6 times 2 is 12. M squared times m squared is m to the fourth. N times n to the fourth is n to the fifth. And that's what that one would look like. Sure. Which one do you want? How about number 15?
Sure.
Okay. 15. What does this little square mean to do? Okay, we need to write that set of parentheses out twice. So 3x plus 4 times 3x plus 4. And then the 2x minus 1 is still there, but I only have one of them. Okay, because that square only applies to that set of parentheses. Now I'm going to FOIL. What I would do when you have three parentheses like this, I would FOIL the first one. When I FOIL that, it's going to come out to be 9x squared plus 12x plus 12x plus 16 times 2x minus 1. I'm going to go ahead and combine in here. So 9x squared plus 24x plus 16. Now what do I do?
Same thing.
Same thing, yeah. Take these two parentheses, put them together. Yep. So then I would do 9 times 2 is 18. X to the third. 9x squared times 1 is minus 9x squared. 24x times 2x is 48x squared. 24x times negative 1 is negative 24x. 16 times 2x is 32x. And 16 times negative 1 is negative 16. And then I would combine my like terms. So let's see, this would be, I have 18x to the third. Negative 9x squared plus 48x squared is going to be 39x squared. Okay. Negative 24x and 32x is going to give me 8x. And then minus 16. And that's your final answer. So hopefully, I mean, sort of what you see in this chapter is a lot of stuff that is not the most fun to do. Okay? And trust me, I've done this same assignment 3 times now today. It's not the most fun to do, but it shouldn't be very difficult. Okay? And this will kind of lead you into, basically Algebra 2 picks up right here. Okay, and then you start to do some stuff with all of this information. So you factor something so that you can then take it another step and do something else with it. Okay? Do you need to see 16 again? No, it's like what we did in the warm-up. Now see it? Anybody want to see it?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead. So 16, we've got a sheet of cardboard, 2 feet long by 4 feet long. 2 feet by 4 feet. I'm cutting off the corners again, which are my X's. And I'm folding here. So now these corners are gone. Okay? So I want the volume, which is length times width times height. What is this length right here? Almost. 4 minus 2x. Good. That's my length of my box. What about my width of my box? There you go. 2 minus 2x. What's the height of my box? When I fold those flaps up.
X squared.
Nope. Just x. Yeah, when I fold this flap straight up, the height of the box is going to be right here. And so that is just x. Okay? So 4 minus 2x times 2 minus 2x times x. Do you need to see me multiply it all out? Are you okay with the multiplying part?
Pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I would just FOIL these two, simplify that, and then distribute the x to everything. Okay? Okay. Should be an easy